the key word is network. If you ain't networking, you ain't really doing nothing out here, you know. So
Word up. That's true. That's true. All right. All right. Shout out to D in the building.
Yeah,
What's up, DWI?
I'm in the cut.
mhm.
Who's calling me? You know who that is? That's we got another interview with another artist and he's late.
They
He's
can
late,
wait.
so
They
now
can
he's
wait.
calling me. He's calling my
They
line.
can
now.
wait. Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
so we in the building. I'm happy to be here. I'm
Uh-huh.
happy to be here with Sue. She was in here conducting another interview with somebody from out of this. I must say out of this world. Somebody out of this country. I always like when international people come back, come by the matrix.
Hey.
Shout out to Marcella.
Mashallah, exactly. So yeah, so this is we got Chicago. We got where's Marcella from?
Show your face on my live. Show your face. I want to do yeah. Hey, that's what's up. That's what's up. Okay.
Yeah, so he hit me up a couple of weeks ago and was like, yo, I need to come in town and tell my story and talk my talk. I said, well, listen, we're gonna be in a new environment at that time. So and it's Times Square, so you know, once you down here, so much everything is going on. Come on down, and here he is.
Word up. So I want to talk a little bit about these crabs in the bucket.
Okay.
Let's talk a little bit about that.
I mean, like I say, I mean, a lot of times, you know, I don't know if you ever heard of different people kind of say this, you know what I'm saying? But it's like what your hometown, you can receive a lot of love, get a lot of love, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, you have a huge bulk of those people, they like, well, I know this nigga, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
this can't be him, you know what I'm saying? Like, for me, you know, it could be, oh, I was in the streets with this nigga. You know what I'm saying? Like, or I was in church with this nigga. Or it could be, I worked at this restaurant with this dude. You know what I'm saying? Like, it could be just like that, you know? So for the perception that people, you know, have about you, a lot of times it's kind of cloudy, you know what I'm saying? Like, their judgment, you know? So in order to, you know, do the proper networking, you gotta escape that sometimes. You know what I'm saying? Go meet new people. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy because it's always a person that you don't know that's willing to do something for you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Willing to extend that hand. You know what I'm saying? Like your own kind, they look at it like it's a competition a lot of times. Like, you know what I'm saying? And everyone's competing with each other and no one truly wants to help each other see the next person win. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So
it's because unfortunately a lot of us in the hood, we have that mentality where we don't think about growth.
Yeah.
Right. So that's kind of like what you're doing. So that's, they probably like, wait a second, like this is not who you was. Okay, well, I'm growing. This is growth. I'm trying to do other things. I'm trying to expand myself. I'm trying to get this bag. I'm trying to do what I need to do. Yeah, absolutely.
I don't think I heard somebody say that it was in a rap song or something. Somebody was breaking it down that crabs in the barrel. They was basically saying like, who says that we were supposed to be in the barrel anyway? So we got this thought that we trapped in this place, and the crab in the barrel analogy is because when you go fish for crabs and now when you start pulling one crab, they're all grabbing back. But they were saying like we're grabbing back to stop you from being hurt because we know you're about to go out into the world. So it's a reverse way of looking at it too. So we get caught up on the cliche of saying certain things a certain way because it sounds cool or it makes sense. So the point we're trying to make, but I think people just don't know no better. Like we talked a little before we got on about people just showing respect and having respect and people in positions at workplaces. If they don't know no better, they can't do no better. Like just because they're smart and they book smart don't mean they was raised like how we were raised. Like
no, that's a good point. That's a good point. Yeah, that's a good point.
Talk to your mic. I hope you wasn't sitting back chilling like that all this time.
Oh,
you wasn't.
Not all this time.
Nah, pull it close to you. If you want to sit back, pull it out. It extends. Pull it to you. Pull it. Just pull it.
Yeah, no, definitely. I agree. I think that, you know, it's just all about, people don't understand that you need to change, you need to evolve in life. Like that's a necessity, you know. And like what you were saying, D, I didn't look at it from that perspective.
It starts
like,
with knowledge,
like you're pulling for safety, because that is kind of true. And like from a parent perspective, I do see that, because I do try to pull my kids very close sometimes, you know, to protect them from danger. So I get
and would you be the crab in the barrel trying to stop your kids from being great, or are you trying to protect them from wherever they're going that you have no idea?
Never that. I'm trying to school them on what he's doing. I'm like, go out there and like network and do what you got to do.
Yeah, perfect.
And you know, there's so much networking you can do in your neighborhood, right?
Yeah.
So
So yeah, tell us a little bit about your travels. You said you was in New York for a while, and then you but you're from Chicago. So tell us about that. How that. worked out for you?
You know, I was in the streets for a minute, you know what I'm saying, like in Chicago, living in Chicago for a while.
Elaborate. We would love to hear.
Okay.
Yes.
I was
Don't incriminate yourself. If
Okay,
you're not
okay.
passive.
Definitely. I was in the streets, you know what I'm saying, like since shit, down there, teenager, gang banging and everything. I had during the time I went by Gambino, you know what I'm saying, like, and I'm glad I get to, you know, share this with you all. During the time I went by Gambino, you know what I'm saying, a gang bang on a block called Thorndale and Winthrop. It's on the north side of Chicago. A lot of times you hear about the Chi, you hear about like south side, west side, but it's shit popping everywhere in Chicago, you know, like, so grew up around there, and I was involved in a lot of shit, a lot of craziness, you know what I'm saying, like, but deep down inside, like, you know, after I got locked up when I was about like 19. Yeah, about 18, 19. I got locked up, and for it was the dumbest thing. I was robbing people, doing all types of crazy shit, you know what I'm saying? But I ended up getting bumped robbing this one dude, you know what I'm saying? And I went to prison for they sentenced me to 4 years. I did close to 2. I got out, and I right before I got locked up, my music was buzzing, you know what I'm saying? Like, I entered this competition. It was called Chicago Idol. The judges was Kanye West, Common,
Nice.
Selena Johnson, No ID. I ended up being one of the 16 finalists, you know. Didn't win, you know what I'm saying, but it got me a lot of buzz in the city, you know. So I was no longer just known locally in my community, but I ended up, you know what I'm saying, like, end up getting known in the city, you know, citywide. So
And then boom, life lesson.
and then boom, life lesson though. You know what I'm saying? Like,
crazy.
it was a combination
That's
of
crazy.
everything though. Like, shit moving too fast, the fame getting to my head. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, surrounding myself around. I can't even say just the wrong people, because I was one of the wrong. I look in the mirror. I was a problem on my own. You know what I'm saying? So I went to jail, got out. But when I was in jail, I did a lot of reading. I read a lot of things. Read the Bible. Read a lot of things. You know. And I ended up getting out, and my buzz, you know, people love controversy. So my buzz ended up, you know what I'm saying, my name was ringing harder, you know what I'm saying? So I got out, started doing my thing. First show I do is packed out. I'm talking about
Nice.
packed out, shoulder to shoulder. A lot of people support me. I got songs with a lot of artists that's known from Chicago. But around that time, I had a reality TV show, too. It came on every other week, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to Dante Fame for looking out with that. So shit was just happening. It was happening, you know what I'm saying? Like, all over again. Like, you would think, like, a dude would lose momentum, going to jail, getting into this shit, almost losing everything, but it picked up for me. Right around that time, you know what I'm saying? Like, I was seeking, I don't know what I was seeking at the time. Like, I was just seeking understanding. I'm talking about, I got into so much shit. That'll be a longer story to tell you.
It's
like,
crazy because you get a lot of like cred, like street cred when you do some time, right? So like you said, you thought you was gonna come out and it was gonna be, you know, quiet, and it was even more buzz.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So like, how do you feel about that? How do you feel about like people giving so much credibility to people who do time in prison?
I think
Not to
I
deviate
don't
from
want
our
to.
conversation,
No, you
but
good.
yeah.
I don't want to speak of it as like just a negative thing, because I think people attract themselves more to entertainment. So
Okay.
the entertainment could be negative, it could be positive. People just love entertainment,
Right.
and
It's true.
the bulk of the entertainment, it happens to be negative when people
Right.
are entertained. You know what I'm saying? Like fights or cussing someone out, or, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I think, but not, jail just doesn't show the entertainment. It shows a person's story, like how
Right.
they actually, you know, went through the hardship. You know what I'm saying? They went through that, and they conquered it. You know what I'm saying? They were able to get out, because there's some people that go to jail, they don't make it out.
Right.
You know?
That's
So I don't look at it as a negative way completely, but at the same time, the world loves bullshit too, though. You know what I'm saying? So can't overlook that.
Yeah.
You know, so I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah.
But so I get out of jail, boom, my buzz is booming hard. Everybody is going crazy. When are you dropping your mixtape? This and that. You know what I'm saying? And it started buzzing. You know what I'm saying? The city going crazy. You know what I'm saying? The north side, they really behind me. You know, I had a deal on the table as far as with my reality TV show and everything. Everything was happening, but I wasn't happy. You know, I didn't have peace. You know.
Okay.
I'm still young. You know, my brain cells haven't even completely fully developed yet. You know, and I just, you know, I'm making some bad decisions, but I'm a little bit wiser. I'm not as wild as before. But long story short, I just made a decision that people thought like it came out the blue. Like I end up getting involved with church and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it was just something, not just a church lifestyle, because I was never really like that lifestyle didn't like attract me at all or nothing like that. But it was just like peace. Yeah. I was looking for peace. You know what I'm saying? Like I used to be the kid in the hood, laying down, pissy mattress, mice, rats running through my crib, roaches everywhere. I'm looking at Beverly Hills 90210, looking at it like, damn, they live like that? You know, you could live like that? So for me, it was just like really trying to escape everything. But more so much, I do believe in God though too though at the same time. You know, I'm not gonna sit here and fake it. So I got involved with that. I ain't gonna get deeply too in depth with that, but that ended up being a lot of other. It was a lot of other shit with that shit like too like. So I stepped away from that. I started reading more, learning about my spirituality, my roots, who I am, where I come from, where religion comes from, just self-knowledge. You know what I'm saying? And I decided to create myself. You know, a lot of people could say, I'm finding myself. I'm finding myself. For me, it was like, nah, fuck that. I'm done finding myself. It's time to create myself.
Right, because now you're an adult. Now you've done been through some stuff. Now you found God, really, right?
Yeah,
okay,
totally.
Spirituality, okay.
So I'm like, okay, now I want to show people this new brand. It's all about happiness for me now. It ain't about nothing else. Like I don't do shit. I don't drop a song trying to please this person or trying to do this. I drop whatever's on my heart because I could relate to the kid selling crack on the street corner. You know what I'm saying? I could relate to the kid in the suburbs that's plotting on committing suicide.
Right.
Sitting at the dinner table cussing out his parents. You know what I'm saying? Like I could relate to the prison life.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like I could relate to the religious life.
Right.
So I don't want to be closed-minded as an artist to be like, put myself in this one category right here.
So we're gonna see you on church on Sundays now.
I don't know about
that. Listen. You know, because I him talking all that music talk, and I pulled up a song because I want Sue is into music. She look all prissy and pretty, but she get it down. She'll pull up on you some DMX in a minute. So we
she do look pretty though. She do look pretty though.
Oh well, thank you. Yeah, we do have some music ride-alongs that are pretty dope.
Let's play one of his joints. We're gonna come back. We're gonna talk a little bit more about Chi-Town. And then after that, he said he got some bars exclusively for you, Sue. So, and I want some of whatever's in that cup too. All right, let's get into this record, and we'll be right back.
Nice.
It's that feel good music right here. I ain't never letting up. Holla at me. Y'all know what time it is. Chill button. I ain't got no chill button. I stay fresh to death. Yeah, I had to hit the kill button. Chill button, I ain't got no chill button. I stay fresh to death, yeah, I had to hit the kill button. Chill button, I ain't got no chill button. I stay fresh to death, yeah, I had to hit the kill button. Chill button, I ain't got no chill button. I stay fresh to death, yeah, I had to
If you want to hear that tune again, somebody say pull up. Pull up.
This that feel good music right here. I ain't never letting up. Holla at me. Y'all know what time it is. Chill button, I ain't got no chill button. I stay fresh to death, yeah, I had to hit the kill button. Chill button, I ain't got no chill button. I stay fresh to death, yeah, I had to hit the kill button. Chill button, I ain't got no chill button. I stay fresh to death, yeah, I had to hit the kill button. Chill button, I ain't got no chill button. I stay fresh to death, yeah, I had to hit the kill button. I've been going hard cause I don't know nothing else. Shorty said do it so hot till I hit the scene and I made a melt. So rare, others can't compare. Clowns can stay on that circus stuff. If the party's dead, I breathe life into it. When I step inside, they turn up. Used to to be on that lurking stuff. On the block with that working stuff. Trapping hard every single day, like every single day, the first of the month. Fresher than spring water, authentic hard body, I ain't never saw. Got some bad vibes from some toxic people, so I kept it moving and I cut them off. It's on and popping, baby. I ain't greedy, but I want it all, baby. People out here hypnotized by hatred and they praying hard for my downfall, baby. It's my time and I'm gonna shine. We in there, no waiting in line. It's a thin line between love and hate, but I was born to be great. Shorty said she like my music. She said it make her go crazy. Now she wanna have my baby. My drip game is amazing. Shorty said she like my music. She said it make her go crazy. Now she wanna have my baby. My drip game is amazing. Chill button, I ain't got no chill button. I stay fresh to death. Yeah, I had to hit the kill button. Chill button, I ain't got no chill button. I stay fresh to death. Yeah, I had to hit the kill button. Chill button, I ain't got no chill button. I stay fresh to death. Yeah, I had to hit the kill button. Chill button, I ain't got no chill button. I stay fresh to death. Yeah, I had to hit the kill button. Tonight we partying all night. Tonight we partying all night. Tonight we partying all night. All night, all night. Tonight we partying all night. Tonight we partying all night. Tonight we partying all night. All night, all night. Pop open that champagne, cause we celebrating all night. Pop open that champagne, cause we celebrating all night. Pop open that champagne, cause we celebrating all night. We celebrating all night. We celebrating all night. They said I couldn't make it. Tried to try me, but I escaped it. No slavery, I'm out the matrix. Switched it up, y'all still basic. I've been waiting, I've been patient, I've been waiting, I've been anxious. Yeah, this is the true me. Yeah, this is the new me. I'm alive and it feels good. The streets in me, I'm still hood. I'm alive and it feels good. The streets in me, I'm still hood. Shorty said she like my music. She said it make her go crazy. Now she wanna have my baby. My drip game is amazing. Chill button, I ain't got no chill button. I stay fresh to death. Yeah, I had to hit the kill button. Chill button, I ain't got no chill button. I stay fresh to death. Yeah, I had to hit the kill button. Chill button, I ain't got no chill button. Yeah, I had to hit the kill button. Chill button, I ain't got no chill button. I stay fresh to death. Yeah, recreated.
Yeah.
That's it. Hey, that was that hot joint. What was the name of that joint?
No chill button. Oh, my bad. No chill button.
Chill button. Okay, I like that. That's what's up. That's what's up. So peace, happiness, spirituality.
Definitely.
So do you feel like all of this new energy that you've attracted has influenced your music now?
Definitely. Oh, definitely. Because one thing that my fans know about me, like, I don't just talk shit on the mic. You know what I'm saying? Like, every word that comes out of my mouth is like, oh, like he says this, he's either gonna do this or he's done this. It's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I don't play with that. You know what I'm saying? I think carefully about everything that I say. You know,
So yeah, okay, feel good music. I like that. I like that. That's what's up. That's what's up. So I know D wanted to talk a little bit about Chi-Town.
Oh, Chi-Town.
Yeah, nah, cause it's. I mean, we get New York. Or you see, this whole studio has moved to Broadway now because for us to get people, thank you, to get people to come to the Bronx, it's like, oh, I don't know about the Bronx.
Right?
And mind you, Sue lives in the Bronx. I'm from the Bronx. We're not violent people. Like we move around however we want to move around. But it's when you're not from somewhere, you feel that way. And that's how I feel about Chicago. I've been there once. I was downtown. My man brought me uptown to by where Jordan was, because I'm a Bulls fan for life. Yeah. So he brought me up there, and it was nighttime, but we didn't go past there. Right. So we didn't go past them lines because I'm not gonna go out there acting like it's not what it is.
What are we looking for out there?
Right.
You know?
Right. So that I just want you to really give us a scope of like how it goes down and what's up with them gun lines. I remember I seen a story they used to have on, I forgot what it was, CNN or something, where it was like a teacher and she was like walking them through like what the kids have to do to go home. They got a certain way they got to walk and all that. Is that true to fact? Like as far as gun lines and where the gangs be at and.
Okay, so I'll put it like this, like.
Because I heard it's really segregated too, Chicago. Is it?
It's So it is. In a sense. So okay, so for example, for you, right? Like how you came, you visited, you were downtown, you were by United Center too. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So there's even rappers that are from other places and they come there and they do the same thing, and they're like, what is all this that people like? What are they talking about? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But it's no different from like how you got a huge place like New York. You know what I'm saying? You got pockets. You know what I'm saying? So in each pocket is popping. Like I guarantee.
Right.
See, okay, so for example, the United Center, it's considered sort of downtown, but you cross them gun lines, you right out west.
Right.
Like literally, like just probably 10 minutes, 5-minute ride, 10, 15-minute ride, you right out west.
Right.
And you crossing the gun lines. It's cracking. Same thing for everywhere else. It's like you got pockets. You got pockets out south. You got pockets up north. You got, and you got safe zones. But what happens is, you know, out of those pockets, sometimes that shit bleeds into the safe zones too.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, but when you got so much violence in those pockets, that shit is just crazy, you know, in reality. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, and then a lot of times, you know, the shit that just happens, you know, the media puts out things the way they want to put it out, you know, but a lot of times people, they can't shoot, you know what I'm saying? You got kids that's actually shooting, but they haven't really been taught to shoot a gun, how to shoot a gun. You know what I'm saying? So that's one thing. That's how you got innocent bystanders that just die. You know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of times.
What's the biggest problem that one man has with the next out there? What's the number one problem that you would say that everybody's shooting about in Chicago?
This shit is crazy now. It ain't even a, I think, my opinion.
Right. Because you speaking from within, like you was there.
I believe now this shit is different though.
Right.
Now I believe you got the pills, you know, the syrup, you know what I'm saying? Like all the shit that's out there now, like all the different drugs and shit like that, it enhances everything now. The shorties out there, they ain't even beefing over no money no more. It ain't got shit to do with no money. This shit is like,
it's protocol pretty much to them.
It's protocol. It's hatred. It's just hatred. It's like, it's animosity.
Right.
It's like, damn nigga, like over this chick, you know what I'm saying? Like over this chick, or over this nigga got clout and he's a rapper, so I'm gonna hate on this nigga right here. You know what I'm saying? Like now I'm gonna make a diss song, and now the other rapper feels pressure because this rapper put out a diss song about him. So now I feel like I gotta go retaliate. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And when you throw drugs in the mix to that shit, like pills and your depression and shit like that,
right?
It's all mental. But when you're dealing with kids, it's like they take that shit to a whole nother level. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's just crazy. That shit it ain't no.
I can say the other day I was watching the news and 10 people in 8 hours got shot in the Bronx. Like 10 people, like just multiple. And it's the same demographic. It's not like a person like me and you having a problem, because we got things to live for. The young ones right now and their parents that raised them like little monsters. Like they just raised them up like, yo, be ignorant and stupid.
They have a very aggressive nature. It's almost like, I want it, I'm taking it. That's kind of like what's happening in the Bronx. Like they're robbing older people, younger people. Like it's
like when you rob a 75-year-old old man and hit him in the head and make him fall. Like from our era, like people did stuff. That was just like you getting your ass beat for that.
Yeah.
You can't come back to the block and say I caught this lick on a 75-year-old man at the ATM. Like that's not.
Yeah.
That's not how.
Okay, so it's pros and cons, right? Okay, so so one of the pros is like nowadays, like with social media, with a lot of the shorties and a lot of they have a lot of freedom now. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's a plus. You know what I'm saying? Don't get me wrong. It's more freedom than it was 10 years ago, 15, 20, 30 years ago. But though, and I ain't trying to sound like no old school OG ass nigga, this and that, but there's no structure.
No.
That's what I keep hearing.
So at a job, what happens when there's no structure?
Right.
It's chaos.
Right.
It's the same thing in the streets. It's chaos.
That's true, yeah. There's a lot of young parents too and things like that.
A lot of young parents. But even that falls under, it's no structure.
Right, exactly.
So it's chaos.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that.
Yeah.
But them pills, man, when you put that shit in, that shit have them a fucking whole.
So I got a flip side question. Since we're on the Fearless platform, and she does a lot of mental health awareness and, you know, speaking to kids and youth and adults and women. What would you, if you could do something different right now, you got put in a position to get some bread, to do something different for Chicago, for your community. What do you think that you can do that would affect change? That would
When-
where would you start?
Question.
When I get put in it, when I
When? Yeah, I
put
like that
myself in
point.
this position, activity. When I was younger, we had so much activity.
Yeah.
See, I grew up on a block with the Latin Kings, right? It was Latin Kings. On the next block, it was Foes, Vice Lords. You go the opposite way, it was Blackstones. It was MCs. It was like it was a war zone.
It was a melting pot.
A melting pot. We were set up to fail.
Right.
GDs were right down. It was like block to block to block. We all went to grammar school with each other, high school with each other. If somebody got shot, you knew the person that shot the person. You know, they were once friends before. You know what I'm saying? So, but what kept all of us unified and loving each other was when it was activity, basketball,
Yeah.
sports.
Yeah.
You know, not even just sports. Like, you know, they had programs with fucking chess, checkers, and all types of that shit right there. You put that gang shit didn't even play a part in that yet. You know what I'm saying? Because they look at it like, man, damn, this motherfucker cold in basketball. Like, I don't care what gang he in. Like, this dude cold. Let me go at him on the court. Let me do this. You know what I'm saying? So it takes your mind off of all the negativity. Like, the shit that it helps you to stay away from the people that don't have shit going on outside of that. But even them, they have street niggas, real street niggas, they have a respect for the hooper.
Right.
For the football player. Because they look at it like, damn, that was once me. But I'm out here now. Leave Shorty alone. Let him go do what he do.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? But when the community, now this has nothing to do with us. When the community strips that away from us, what do we have?
Right. Well, you said something earlier when we were talking here. You said a lot of the stuff that's going on is in places where people are bored. So it kind of like connects to what you're saying right now. If they're taking away the activities for the kids, they're taking away things that they're looking up to, things they're trying to be better for, they're bored. They're doing nothing. So that's when they get into trouble.
What's the saying? Idle time is what? The devil's playground?
Right. Yes. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You know,
Yes,
so
sir.
it's this shit. It's crazy, though.
Yeah.
But you know, it's not just Chicago. You know what I'm saying? Like,
it's
New York.
We're only taking a
it's
trip with you because
everywhere.
you from there. Like,
Right.
I can take you to a trip down the
Exactly.
Bronx, Brooklyn, like
everywhere.
because
That shit is
we
everywhere.
like that about the Bronx is like that about Brooklyn. Nah, I'm not going out to Brooklyn. It's crazy out there.
Right.
But I be in Brooklyn all the time. But I don't be where it's crazy at
And
because I don't have no business
And
being
Brooklyn
there.
says the same thing about the Bronx.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what?
Yeah, like it's places. This is where you're at right now, and I'm gonna give you a crazy ass analogy. Where you're at right now should probably be the safest place. But maybe about a year ago, some weirdo ran his car on the sidewalk and killed mad people right downstairs. You see them big rocks on the sidewalk now?
Yeah.
That's the defense. And the police department is right there.
Yeah.
People come down here with knives and stuff, get laid down all the time by these cops. They got units down here, they got units that's ready for action down here. And people come in and lay their deathbed right here. They just say, you know what, today I'm going to go and do a bunch of stupid stuff because I want to die.
Yeah.
Instead of just killing themselves first.
So before we get back to the music, let's talk.
Yeah.
So I haven't visited Chi-Town yet. I'm looking forward to.
Oh, come in the summer. Don't
Yes,
come in the
yes.
I
winter.
find
You
that hard to believe. You skipped everywhere else and didn't go to
I
Chicago.
know, and I was really close.
You're going to
too.
freeze your ass off in the winter. But the summer, oh my
Yeah.
God. Anyone that travel, they'll
Yeah.
tell you it's nothing like summertime.
Yeah. Okay. I need
Nothing
to go
like
visit.
it.
Well, I told you I was your neighbor recently. I was in Michigan. So, but definitely I'm gonna make a trip out there.
Ooh.
So I wanted to know. I've been hearing that Chicago is a little segregated. Like, talk a little bit about that.
It is. But that goes back to like the way it's set up. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, so, but it's crazy because even how I look at New York now, like 5 years from now, 10, this shit is changing. Like everything is changing. So, okay, so in Chicago now, what's happening is they're gentrifying like a lot of the areas. You know what I'm saying? Like So 5 years from now, the area that used to be segregated, it might not even be segregated no more. It's like, it's just, it's crazy what they're doing now. But for the most part, it is. It's like, on the south side, okay, I'm going to give you an example of how I was brought up, and then you'll pretty much get an idea. So I grew up on the north side, right? The north side is not really, they have pockets where it's kind of segregated, but it's really not. You go to school with Pakistan, motherfucker, Mexican, black, white, everything, you know what I'm saying? But out south, it ain't necessarily like that. You gonna have all black and maybe a few Latino. You ain't having no whites out there.
Oh wow.
No whites out there. So when I when I would used to, my family, most of my family from my pop side, they're all from out south. You know what I'm saying? So when you go out there, it was like we got the Cubs, for example. They got the White Sox. You know, the Cubs is like a whitewash type of Wrigley Field. You know what I'm saying? Just being real. Sox is more, you know, black and Latino. You know what I'm saying? Like, you probably got some White Sox fans. I'm not knocking that, but I'm saying for the most part, it's out south. You know, so out south, there's a lot of black people out there. Out west, a lot of black people, Mexicans, Hispanics out there. Up north, it's not too segregated, you know what I'm saying? But for the most part, when you talk about the city as a whole, it is segregated.
It is segregated,
you know?
yeah.
Totally.
Okay.
Totally.
So we was talking about, you know, the neighborhoods, the little pockets of neighborhoods that you know aren't too stable right now, for lack of a better word. When you're performing and when you're sharing your music, do you go perform everywhere in Chicago?
This was different about me. Like, okay, so me now, right? Since I described my story to you all, I share my story, right? So you gotta imagine, right? The street nigga, right? So I grew up on the north side, but I grew up in an area called Uptown. Okay. Later on, during my teenage years, like upper teenage years, I moved towards the area, Edgewater, Rogers Park area, you know? So basically, it's like no joke with me. Like I cover the whole north side when you talk about me as a person. You know what I'm saying? So going back to your question, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I was saying when you perform and you share your music.
So the difference between me and a lot of other like artists, like, okay, say I don't even want to use a name, but well, fuck it. Say you got like Lil Durk or G Herbo or someone like that, right? They're from the south side. You know what I'm saying? So they grow up in the city, you know what I'm saying? Motherfuckers, predominantly, it'd be the black Hispanic crowd, like banging they shit, you know what I'm saying? Like banging they shit. And then, you know, you got the suburban motherfuckers that jump on board, they feel that shit too, you know, because they want to be gangster, this and that, you know what I'm saying? For me, it was different. Like, at my shows, because I grew up around Latin King, Vice Lords, Foes, this and that, but I was a GD coming up. Okay. But because I came up around so many gangs and I conducted myself a certain way, but I grew up on the north side too, where there was no segregation over there. My fan base already was diverse. Okay. At my shows, you had Black Stones, Vice Lords. It's still the same thing. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But now, and I'm not talking down on the new generation now, but now I don't knock them, because what happens now is you got the ops. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got this person is in war with this person, you know what I'm saying, this block, you know what I'm saying? And motherfuckers can't go nowhere. You know what I'm saying? They can't move around.
Gotcha. But do you go to those different neighborhoods and like whatever, you know, arenas they have or venues they have? Do you go perform in all those different places?
Everywhere. I go everywhere.
North and south. I
can go wherever.
Okay, that's what's up.
I go wherever.
Okay.
I go wherever. Okay. That's just me though. You know, a lot of people can't do that. They can't say that. One thing about me is that I refuse to inherit someone else's beef. You know what I'm saying? Because you got to think, I was taken away out the streets for years. You know what I'm saying? Like, so when I came, I'm not in the streets right now, but when I had left the church life and all that and people heard I came back towards the city and this and that, you know what I'm saying? Like, I can't inherit your beef. I got love for you. You from the block I'm from, this and that, but that ain't my beef.
Right.
What the fuck I look like jumping into a pool of fire?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
plus you already know what it is to lose everything.
And I'm older though, you know what I'm saying? So it's like it's crazy.
Yeah.
This shit's crazy. It's crazy. Man.
All right. Do you work with like your producers and stuff like that? Do you work with producers from Chi-Town or the artists from Chi-Town?
I would love to. I have in the past. I've worked with a lot of artists, like a lot of popping artists from Chicago. I've worked with a lot of popping producers from Chicago. But I'm not going to categorize from Chicago or from where. See, I'm all about networking. That's why I'm out here right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I'm all about doing business the proper way.
Okay.
So a lot of times, no matter where you're at, when you come across people that quote unquote know you or are from the same place you're from, they don't like to do business the right way. You know what I'm saying? So it's like But you got some people that do like to do business. So I'm not just completely knocking that.
Right.
But it's like I'm all about networking. You know what I'm saying? Like I want to know new people.
Yeah.
Get involved with new situations, you know, stuff like that.
Yeah,
you know,
the different sounds from different cities.
sounds, different cities. You know,
okay.
I'm just a free-minded person.
Yes,
you know what I'm saying?
yes.
Yeah,
So,
from
I
when
like
you
that.
and I give you props on that too. When you hit me, you stuck to your word. We handled the business, and you came out when you had to come out. We had to make some changes, and obviously you changed for, I wouldn't say the better, but you just got a great situation either way, because the ones that was going to interview you yesterday would have been dope, and you so happened to get Sue in the building today doing her thing.
Hey.
right,
With
right.
the international sensation
It's
over
my
here on the
pleasure.
couch,
It's my pleasure.
you know, and that's how things work out. I always tell people you gotta go through it to get through it. People want to skip the hard parts, or they don't want to do certain steps in life that you have to do. Like me, this is my 5th studio, and like I could have stayed in one studio in my apartment and saved mad bread all these years, but I had to grow. So like the last studio I was in, I think was bigger than what I needed. Because obviously I had 5 rooms and now I'm down to 1, and I feel happy.
Wow.
Because now I can maintain, and I'm in the best place
It's
for
nice though, man.
for what we doing, you know, and for not just for me and my team. Like they can
Right.
all bring people here, and people when they come through those golden doors. Well, how they feel? How you felt when you
Easy
came through the
access.
doors?
Man, look, I was down in Times Square. For one, you triggered
First
that
of all,
now.
I was gonna say,
Go
where's
ahead.
the accent? And now I hear it. He's like, man.
Yeah, I ain't gonna say cabin, but I'll be like throwing that shit on and off. Like I could talk but I learned to become like all things to all people. Like, you know what I'm saying? But I'd be fucked up. I used to be, I had moved to Cali when that shit switched up. Like I was so fucking ghetto and so just saying shit. Like people started making fun of me, and I start wanting to fuck every person up, but I can't fight every person, like
Right.
especially a woman. You know what I'm saying? Like they laughing at me, cracking jokes. So I'm like, I just had to really. I sat down one day and I'm like, I need to change.
Plus, it was your perspective too. They probably really liked it, and they're like,
They did though. They did
look
though.
at that
They
little
were really
twang.
joking with me, but I'm like
Exactly.
taking this shit serious. Like they ain't from where I'm from. They can't even relate to this. But they were just joking though.
Right,
You know what I'm
right.
saying? So it's like, so I be like I throw that shit on and I throw it off, and it should be crazy.
But
So
did you
I
forget the
deviated
point you was
from
about
the
to make?
answer,
Yeah, because
yeah.
you was
my
about
bad, my bad,
you was
my
about to
bad,
do
my
something.
bad. We chilling. I be what was it again? I'm sorry.
You were saying you walked in the doors downstairs. You walked in the
So let me
building.
tell you. So look, I love Times Square, right?
Right.
Times Square is the energy, everything. It's my favorite place in New York. So I'm in Times Square, I'm walking around and shit. I'm like, damn, I had to think about it. I'm like, because I pay attention. People on social media, they act like they don't see shit, this and that. I be seeing things, you know what I'm saying? So I saw when you all was in the Bronx, this and that, you know what I'm saying? Like I would have came to the Bronx because you all, I love the look as far as what you all doing. You have something definitely going that's great, you know what I'm saying? And it's going to only blossom. It's going to flourish, you know what I'm saying? So, but Times Square though, I'm like, I had to think about, I'm like, they moved to Times Square.
Let me tell you something that I didn't realize. 'Cause I didn't have a chance to really sit. I've been moving back and forth up in the morning,
Yeah,
5 o'clock.
that's
I've been
true.
moving. I spoke to some of the guys that manage the location down here. And so the majority of people that's in there just have businesses. They run business. They got office, computer, yada, yada. When they walked in here and seen what I did, they was like, and they looking at the murals and all that. They cause they young too, so they into the culture, and they was just like, yo.
Oh yeah.
They was like, yo, you did your thing.
That's how
Nobody
you go.
ever did anything like this here. And I'm like, yeah, that's what I wanted to hear, because that I seen the space and I seen something different.
Right.
It's not just it's a studio is just 4 walls. It's what you do with it and the energy you put into it.
Exactly.
And that's why I felt when I was talking to you about a week or two ago, something like that. That's why I fell back, because I trusted and I knew you knew what you was doing, though.
Right,
You know what I'm
right.
saying? Like at first, I paid attention. I'm like, okay, I saw the table, I saw the 2 mics, and I'm like, okay, but where's this going? But then, like, I love how you even show how you're adding this shit. Like you just
Yeah.
Nah, because it has to be, because
It's the
people think that
process.
things just happen.
Yeah.
Because what I've been through, and people like to jump on stuff when it's done.
yeah.
And then everybody want to come.
Yeah,
and then
facts though.
so but when you
I
ask
don't
it,
do
when,
that,
when you're
yeah.
trying to show them what it's gonna be and what the energy, everybody don't have the same vision as you. We all see the same things, but not at the same time. Like,
Right.
and
right.
that's something that I've learned, and I refuse to hold things back from people. I'll show you what I'm doing. We never gonna do the same 2 things,
Yeah.
because I'm me and you. But
Yeah.
I'm not gonna be like, I ain't gonna show you how to get the space, or you need office space. I'm not gonna put you on. And that's the crabs in the barrel mentality.
Yeah.
I'll never have that.
Yeah.
But Yeah, we got a lot of people online. A lot of my family is checking us out. But I want to hear these bars because I got another artist that they walked in your whole session. They didn't know what they was walking into. I ain't want no problem, no smoke in here. We in Times Square now, so but but you know what's real? That artist now he won a competition and he's in the kitchen. He said, I'm making some cocoa right now and I'm networking. And I'm like, this is what you should be doing. Exactly. Like this is don't come here and
I was gonna say it's like a similar movement, right? So you're moving around to network and D moved around to network. Like now he's in Times Square. Like this is easily accessible for everybody. So it's good. It's everybody's winning, everybody's growing. I love that. So before we let you go though, tell us the name of your latest project and where people can follow you, all that good stuff.
So I got a single out called No Chill Button, and I also got a single out called Is This Song Hot? When I'm performing, I'm gonna go crazy. But so I got a video that I'm dropping when I get back called I Want You. That's for the ladies though.
Hey.
That's for the ladies. You had me thinking about popping that to you, but then I got a project I'm working on called Carl Buckner versus Gambino. You know what I'm saying?
Ooh,
it's
okay.
Yeah, it's that.
Okay, I want to hear that.
Yeah, it's the whole project that I'm working on right now, and that shit gonna be dope. Like, it ain't gonna be, motherfuckers gonna see. They gonna see, but I got that right now I'm working on, and that's pretty much it. Just pumping out singles. You know what I'm saying? Like, singles is my focus. That's it. Like, and then I'm gonna hit them. I'm gonna hit them out of nowhere with the